Hello. So I just had my podcast, the second one. I was so nervous before it. I was like, what am I gonna say? What if it doesn't really turn? Because you never know. Like most of the people who come on the podcast, I don't know them like in person. Like this is the first time we would like speak. There's always like this doubt that what if like they don't fuck with it? What if I freeze? I don't know what to say. Or do we like vibe or what? But he was cool as shit. We had like a great conversation, which you can obviously watch, and I think it was value for both of us. It was an interesting conversation. Yeah, he was reminding me stuff that I remind myself. It's like I would always like every day I would have a conversation with myself to keep myself in the right mindset, whether it's just about like content, whether it's about life or business. I would keep telling myself over and over again, right? When I'm like, I'm not good enough, like, how can I do it? Like, these people must be some sort of whatever. Then I always remind myself that everything, something that Steve Jobs said, that everything created in this world was made by people who are no smarter than you know? And then the next fact, it wasn't said by him, it's just the fact that an average person does not use his brain more than 4%. So, anyway, everyone has the same brain. No one has like a different kind of brain. It's just how you apply it. So, it's impossible that for someone to be smarter than you. I just feel like it's about who's practiced it more, who who has studied about it more, who has collected more information. That is what makes them smarter. But then they're not like they just don't come from somewhere being smarter than you. Everyone like just starts at the same scale. It's just information which make you like smart, quote unquote. Then the fact we were just discussing, I was like, who's gonna watch it? Like, all this content that we're trying to do, who's gonna watch it? Who's gonna watch me? I'm not that interesting and all that shit. But he's like, what the fuck does Gary say? Why are we like watching him every day? It's like, let the market decide. You don't, like, it's subjective, right? What's good, like something that I might really enjoy, the other person might not, right? So instead of worrying and thinking and pondering, you can start executing, doing, and taking action. And I was like, yes, like, why am I overthinking? It's not gonna, like, it's actually like not gonna add any value to my life. So I decided to, like, I don't know how the podcast happened because I'm connected. It's so, oh my god, it's so annoying to like be ignored. Like, I'm always talking to people who either it's a meeting or something. So like, there's no ignoring game. Like, no one's fucking ignoring you and shit. Like, there's just exchange of information constantly. So now hitting up people and not getting a reply back hurts. But I'm like, you just need that one yes to change your life. But for that one yes, you have to go through all these no's. So it's something I put myself into, and I should be like comfortable with getting rejected. Yeah, that's how it works. And it's just like part of the process. So I was just telling myself that, and I'm so not nervous, but kind of nervous. Like, I don't know. I'm just so tired of having like weird days. Like, I'm just trying to have like these days where I'm so, I don't know, like, I'm great. Like, I'm happy, but I'm happy because I'm grateful at all times for everything that I have, and I don't take it for granted. Like my family, that everyone's healthy, that I'm healthy, that we live in a beautiful home. We have everything that we need. So I'm happy like that. That's always a constant reminder to give back and do all sorts of things. At the same time, I get unhappy about, like, I don't feel fulfilled. Like, yesterday I recorded this video for the first ever time and just posted it. Like, of course I edited and stuff, and like same day I would never do that shit. Like, I would always record videos and then just sit on them and be like, I'll edit them later, and like, because I had like no intention of posting them. But yesterday I like just posted. I was like, what the fuck? Like, let's just call it DailyDee or whatever. Like, just document I was just like having these weird thoughts. I was like, let me just like put it out there. Like, if I'm calling this a fucking like documentary, then I shouldn't like just document all the good parts and like leave out all the me being confused and like just constantly self-doubting and like overthinking stuff. So I'm super happy that I did that, and I plan to like every day like just leave a vlog. I don't know if it's a vlog. Like, vlogs have like some, now they've actually like set a bar for themselves. but this is could be a video log. Just in the, I know it's the same thing, but then a video log more sounds like old school, like, you know, me just like recording. Just leave it, because I know I always remind myself that when I am super, it's not like when I'm super, it's like when I make it, when I hit, this is what's gonna, this is this is gonna hold so much value then, because I always want to look at people's journey before they were who they were, you know, because they were always the same person. It's just that they hit, right? Because it's not like you become successful and you get all this money. No, it's it's actually very interesting, like the perspective I got on it. Instead of like praying to have X amount of money, instead of praying to have this car or this house or this kind of a relationship, instead of praying to get it, you pray to become the person who can make that money. You become the person who can afford the car. You become a person who can sustain those kinds of relationships. And it makes so much sense then. You have all the control instead of thinking that money is gonna come to me, car is gonna come to me. No, like you, like you have to get them, instead of like you become the person and then everything's gonna come to you, right? Like you don't have to go get something, it's all out there. That is what excites me. Like that is why I believe, not like I, that is why that we have abundance, that it all exists. All the money you need, all the subscribers, followers you need, all the cars, house, whatever is it that you need, it always exists. It's just that, have you become the person who deserves it? Have you become the person who attracts it? And just having this conversation right now, recording this, made me feel so much better, because I'm like, you know, it's not so, I mean, when do you feel helpless is when things are not in your control. But when your perspective is right, that's why it's so important to have your perspective right, because if you have your perspective right, then you automatically come from a position of strength instead of a position of weakness, you know? So I just thought that was super interesting and I should share it. That's all. And now I'll upload it, and I keep thinking, I was like, who cares and who would want to listen to this? But then, you know, you can't like just have this sort of a thought process. Gary says like, you upload the fucking content. Now let the market decide. So even if I'm speaking to myself in 10 years, who's looking back at this, who's made it, who has everything she wanted to have, I would really appreciate you do you, like you put in all the work and then just be patient. What I believe, like my whole thesis of running the business is you put in every ounce of who you have into your craft, into your work, into your business. You put in all the effort that you can, and then be a good person. Like make sure you're giving back, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's whatever, you know, like just make sure that you give back, be a good person, and then be patient. When the time is right, everything's gonna come. You do you. I can't, you know, if you keep focusing on the end results, you might get discouraged, because that wouldn't really be in your control when things come. But what's in your control is like you do you. You work hard, you be the best, you do everything that you can, and most importantly, be a good person, because it doesn't matter how hardworking you are, but then you're a really trash person, like it's just gonna block it out. Whether it's God, whether it's the universe, like when you doing you and you're putting out good things that are meant for you will find its way. And that's what I believe. Thank you for watching. The fuck. Bye.